What's up, people? Welcome back to another explanation video. This time I'm gonna talk about spear, things to know. Last time I did dual wield, so I'm just gonna move on to the next weapon and continue because I just do whatever, there's really no order on which one I'm gonna do first. It's more like which one I want to do first. So yeah, this time I'm gonna do spear and talk about things to know. And yeah, with that being said, let's do this. It is definitely one of the meta. Not gonna lie though, spear is one of the meta for the time being. Ever since it came out, it's always been up there with dual wield. So usually people will be just using dual wield or spear. Those are really the two things that you will probably gonna see when it comes to like farming tougher enemies and stuff. And it actually really good. The only problem about spear is a lack of accuracy. So spear does not have the highest accuracy, and it kind of sucks, especially fighting some higher level enemies. You will have like quite a bit, missing accuracy. Other than that, spear does not missing strength, does not missing anything else. DPS is there, etc. So like for beginners, like in the beginning, the spear that you can really pick it up is from like, I'm gonna start with like normal rates, because anything below that, any spear could technically work, but in the very beginning, if you pick up the spear from like the north and the south normal rate, they have the agile flurry on there that you can actually do the melee like the normal. Just keep spamming square, and it can actually get you through quite far in the game. Somewhere in the ancient apostle, it might be able to get you past by number 1, but I think number 2 will be a little bit difficult. Other than that, that spear can get you pretty far. That one I don't have because I don't want to keep too many weapons in my inventory, because like I only keep the good ones and the ones that I'm using, or the ones that I'm giving to AIs, so I can't really show it. I think I have some of them in my old videos and stuff, but like I say, anything before extreme stuff, like I have pretty much all the weapons finished. So anything like since the DLC came out, I switched to XT gears, so I can do all the new version, the new generation, because there's really no need for me to do the non XT gears, because I already done them all as far as I can get, and can probably get further, but there's really no point. Just want to play new gears, that's all. So back to the topic. The spear of the sun god is actually pretty decent. It's from the I'm not talking about the XT version, I'm talking about the blacksmith version. You can craft that if you have the normal divine beast stuff material. I think that thing gives you quite a bit of strength, and it will be really good for DPS early round. The next thing you want to get is, if you have a chance, farm the extreme version of the spear that has killing blow on it. You mainly want to focus the 4 stat, so that's what you really want, is the killing blow on it. The killing blow on the spear, it is OP. So I wouldn't worry about like the other passive that much. The killing blow is what you really want on the extreme version. It can drop from like all the, when I mentioned extremes, you can get it from any extreme rate. So that way, if somebody do want to get the extreme version, it can actually get you pretty far into the game. Because the next thing really close to like a good spear is not really like the best one you can get right now in the game. I will talk about it in a second, but like I think the XT spear of the sun god is actually really good if you can get like really high strength, because it has built-in accuracy. That's the differences. Because a lot of time you need the accuracy. Extreme has accuracy, but not really high to an extent. So the XT version of the Spear of Sun God will be good. Plus, this thing is really good for debuffer. I think when 7 comes out, this will be her weapon. That's why I kept this weapon. Like, the highest special accuracy is 25, so she will be my debuffer to hit the slow. But I will talk about the skill, which one it actually can hit the slow, when I go to the when I talk about the sword skill stuff. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Ironwood. Woof, this spear it's ridiculously OP. Like, this is the best spear at the moment in the game. It drops. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention where this drops. This drops from the. It's better to show you. I think this drops from the east. Yeah, it's over here by the turtle. If you travel here, you take a path to the right side. This is where you get the XT Sun. This is where you get the. XT version of the Spear of the Sun God. Other than that, yeah, let me move on to the Ironwood. This thing is absolute beast. It drops from the Forgotten King, the level 400 version. Oof. Yeah, not many people gonna be able to farm the Forgotten King constantly. The Divine Beasts right now are actually quite difficult to farm. So unless you're farming with a group, or if you know how to kill it efficiently by yourself, it is really difficult to farm this weapon. Plus, the stats on it aren't fixed. They're varied. So you can get from like single digit strength, like 9, all the way to 75. That is a big differential, because yeah, that's a big jump from like your RNG. I got a lot of single digit numbers, which it kind of sucks because the Forgotten King is really hard to kill. Plus, you have to get the weapon on top of it and a good stat. So these are the passive and the combat skill it has. So like the sword dance, definitely you want to clear flash if you can. It is really good on that thing. But the other version, it's not so much. You can still use it without clear flash, but the clear flash is a bonus if you can get it. So yeah, but like, it's not necessary to have clear flash. Sometimes if you have a good stats, I say use it. Don't worry about a clear flash, unless you absolutely want to go for like the perfection. Then it'll be a while. Depends on your RNG. It took me like almost 1,000 kills on the Forgotten King to get the one that I have. Simply, it is definitely one of the hardest like drop that I ever found besides the 4-star light wolves. It took so long to farm. Like, I got so many trolls, it's ridiculous. So like I said, don't worry about the clear flash. Sometimes you can get good stats without the passive or the combat. I say use it. Don't bother trying to farm for a perfect one until you have a good one that's able to kill the level 400 Forgotten King constantly. Then you can thinking about start farming it, because you need to able to kill it efficiently to able to farm something. If you're gonna kill it like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or it's like somewhere, it's not really worth farming, because it will take you ages to get one. Plus the stats are pretty much 90% of them are pretty bad, so it's a hard grind. So other than that, what you're really looking for the stats for the Ironwood is the attack. I think the attack goes up to 66 base. That's the maximum, I think. So you definitely want to get that somewhere. You want the high attack built in for the weapon. It's important. That's where that's where a lot of DPS. Yes, you do want the strength, but the attack and the strength are both important. as well as the vitality, as well as the dex. So really, if you have something good with attack and strength and decent dex, vitality, you don't have to worry too much. So other than that, yeah, the stats on there, they're hard to farm, but if you do have a decent one, not perfect, good enough. You know, doesn't have to be Garbo. As long, like I say, the attack, strength are good, and the accuracy and the dex are decent. Accuracy, you don't need 100. I think accuracy you only need about 38, maybe 38 to 40-ish to cap out. Yes, even it says 100 accuracy on there, but it caps when it plus the I think when it hits the 90 something, it's already capped. So regardless, if you have like lower and you plus the dex is accuracy technically, so that will have an effect to plus to the top of the accuracy, and it will cap out. And dex is really the only way you can get accuracy, so trying to get as high dex as possible, and it will help a lot. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about are the sword skills. You know, there are 8 of them. It's usually, some of them are your preferences. I'm not gonna tell you which one to use. I mean, you can see the one I'm using, and if you like it, go ahead and use it, because like I said, when I mentioned sword skill and stuff, some people use an extra 1 or 2 different. That's okay, you know. It's not necessary you have to be all exactly the same. It's just what I like to use, and what I see that it's, you know, much easier for me to use it and in the situation, and rather than, some people use it for the fun, some people use it for the looks, some people just use it for no reason. So like I said, it's really your choice. Now the ones that I'm gonna talk about are actually the ones that I'm using in this case. Alicization is actually good if you're doing mobs, because that skill, you can, if you break the enemy, you can instant down with that sword skill, so you don't have to press X. This is another sword skill that can down enemy without using pressing X, but it doesn't work on a boss. That's like the I was so excited when the first time I'm using that. I was like, damn, this thing can down enemies? That would be good. It's gonna be like dual wield. But when I test on the boss, it doesn't really work that well, which kind of sucks. But if you're mobbing, this is a good skill to use if you don't want to press X to down them. I think if it works against like mini mobs, like small mobs, but like the big ones, for some reason it doesn't work that well on them. So yeah, this is a good, you know, option to use. Revolve R is what I really use the most, because this has such a large area when you use it. It's like a, you know, it's like a big circle. It's really easy to hazard like the whole area, especially when you have a lot of enemies. It's really good for mobbing when it comes to like a sword skill that has built-in AoE as well. So you will be able to pretty much clear the entire room if you put AoE on there easily with that one sword skill. Everything will be hazard instantly. So that thing is really good. That's why I always use that for the hazard. Then Force is good because there's a lot of hits. That's another thing when it comes to hazard. It's the hits. You want more hits, so that way it's easier to hazard the enemies. And other than that, double helix is just damage, as well as dimension. Both of them are my go-to damage. Alter, using double, then dimension, and then come back and forth. Dancing Spear is good, but the thing is it has a buff. Like I think it's a 5% attack boost. I don't really need that, because when I'm doing like a 1 down or a certain thing, when I do use maximum amount of buffs, I don't really like to have random buffs popping up, because that will over buff me. And you know, if you're using it outside of like the non-2020, then it's okay. 5% is not that much, to be honest. I mean, you might as well use a buff, because you can get way more than that. So other than that, yeah, these are the sword skills usually I recommend to use, like Revolve Art, Alicization, Vent Force, Double Helix, and Dimension. So these, some people will use dancing and then Fatal. So it's okay though. You know, like I say, it's your some of them is your choice, but you know, it's okay. Just choose whatever, whichever. You know, it's more to fit your combat style. You know, than rather what other people use. Sometimes it's sometimes when you're using a sword skill and that one is really nice because it's really smooth, then you can stick with it. Actually, you don't have to pick. You know, whatever that person's using, you know, sometimes it might not work for you. So that's the key when it comes to, you know, sword skills. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is custom. Like I said, I'm going to skip the buffs and the passives. There's really no reason to mention them because it's the same for the others. If you want to learn more about the buffs, I have plenty of buff videos explained it already. So with that being said, so the dimension is really powerful. What you really need to focus is the strength. Like, you can get strength is easy to make build, especially anything use strength. You can pretty much make it build with anything because most of the gears they do have strength, especially 160%. That is really powerful because you can stack so much strength. And the easiest thing to stack is strength in this game. So at the moment, like what I usually recommend are the Abyssal Clothes, the XT version, if you can get it, or the Steel Armor, the XT version. If you don't have any of that stuff, try to use a Ragnar Armor for the non-extreme. Blacklight Clothes works well too. Well, that's actually a upgraded version of the Ragnar Armor. Other than that, the normal Steel Armor, not many. Good choice. So that's about it. Not many good armors. There's only a few that really has strength and dex and accuracy. So what you really want is mostly strength on there if it's possible. Like I say, down incarnation as usual. That don't really need to talk about too much. As for the accessories, usually recommended are, you know, the Glove Inquisition. This one I will use because it's perfect for dimension because that's strength, vitality, plus blade dance. It's a killer. Now the next thing is definitely Abyssal Rings or Ring of Tranquility. Anything with a strength, like I say, you can make it work of it. If you have enough accuracy, it's fine. So usually I would use double Abyssal Ring or Abyssal Ring and something else. But the next thing, like if you have, I don't expect like everybody's gonna have the Ring of Curse because it's such a hard one to get. Like if you can get, I think the max strength is 84 plus the killing blow. So this thing will be insane in the arena. Like Ring of Curse is really good in the arena. Outside arena will be good sometimes if you don't use Tiger Resolve and stuff. But killing blow does stack on top of the 2 Tiger Resolve just by a little bit more damage. Not like whole lot, but it is. You can get a little bit more damage on top of it. So this is another ring if you can get from the Forgotten King, which is a hard drop. So like I say, I usually don't mention too much about Ring of Curse. Like if you have it, use it. If you don't, use Abyssal Ring. You know, like the XT version or the normal version, but definitely better with the XT version if you can. Ring of Tranquility, it's also good too, the XT version, because it has a lot of stats on it. Although Ring of Tranquility, it's a little bit lower than, you know, like Dex and stuff. Not much accuracy. That's the only thing you need to worry about it when it comes to Spear. You need more accuracy and stuff. So, like I say, Abyssal Ring, Glove Inquisition if you have enough accuracy. Not like Ring of Curse, optional if you have them. It's mostly just that and not much else. Yes, there's some other stuff, but like the majority one, you really honestly double Abyssal Ring will take care of a lot of enemies, anything in this game later on. So especially with the XT version, you're good to go. As for Vent Force, I still have the same setup for the tapir, the one down build. Usually I put the like I say, the hazard incarnation on there, so I can get some hazard. Like I said, you know, the hazard skills are pretty much the same. You need the incarnation and the passive if you want faster. The Unfreezing Spirit, which is the XT Ring of Tranquility. But if you don't have any of that version, just use the White Mist Armor, the 1.0 version build. So other than that, Vent Force is my hazard. But if I do Mind Break and stuff, I just use as a down, because there's no point to use hazard if I'm going to kill him one down. So if not, it's going to be the same setup for in this as Revolve Art. The arts. So just basically the same thing in all the sword skills. Two sword skill you need for hazard if you want to use 2 sword skill. That's what I use. 2 DPS. Like, you really just need 2 DPS to beat majority of the stuff in this game. So yeah, 2 deep, actually not majority, all of them. So like I stick with 2 hazard and 2, you know, DPS. But if it comes to 1 down, I can use 4 DPS if I want to. But you still need to keep that 4/4 though. So those passives are important. Like 4/4 is basically as the same as dual wield. You need to do 2 sword skill rotate. For example, in this case, how do I get to 3, 3, and 4/4? So I will have to do revolve. I mean, I do it my way. You can do the opposite. You can start with Vent Force if you want to, but I started this way, like revolve, double helix, Vent Force. If you want to do 3/3, then go to dimension. But if you want to go 4/4, you go back to revolve, then dimension, then you get 4. You need 5. You need to hit 5 sword skills to get to 4/4, and 4 sword skill to get to 3/3. So yeah, that's why I don't really use 5/5 that much. 5/5 you have to do this, that, and that, and that, come back and that again, and go back to dimension. So it's wasting some of the time there. Although you do get a little bit more DPS, but I stick with 4. 4 is really perfect. There's like, because the amount of time you lost when you get to 5/5, I can already get that amount of damage. So there's really no point. If you want to have fun and do 5 or above, it's okay, you know, go for it. As long as you can kill the enemies, it's fine. So other than that, double helix, it's similar. Not much, you know, just the down incarnation and the close. And accessory, look at the custom. This time it's strength and agility. Honestly, I prefer the steel armor on there, but sometimes I don't have enough accuracy when it comes to steel armor. So if you have enough like accuracy, steel armor will be really good. Use that, and then the same accessories. Strength and agility, you know what to do. It's the same as dual wield. Just find something that's has a strength or agility or pure strength, and it works totally fine. You know, there's no wrong answer to it. So basically, that is how that's how I set it up for my spear. But most people will be set up similarly regardless. Just another skill or 2 might be different, depends on their preference. So other than that, not so much. That's it for the spear. You know, not as much, you know, craziness or rocket science to set up sword skills, and as well as their adjustments. And that's about it. Okay, so the next thing, or the last thing I want to talk about is how powerful is spear in this game. Because like I say, back then I mentioned it when I did dual wield version, that when I said that, don't underestimate the other weapons. The other weapons are just as powerful as dual wield, if it's not more powerful. Like, you know, I'm excluding shine circular spam because, like I said, there's nothing gonna top shine circular regardless on what weapon and what gear, how you use it, how you plus it at the moment. If there is something that will be on shine circular spam, which they have to change some stuff in order to make that happen, but other than that I don't see anything. But taking out of the shine circular into the conversation, the spear is actually more powerful than dual wield right now. In terms of damage, in terms of speed, it is insane. The new spear that dropped from the Forgotten King, if you have a really good stats on it, this thing will out damage dual wield easily. Like I said, easily. Because the EX adjustment are hitting so hard. Like that 160% and 160%, it really maximize a lot of damage. Too bad there's not many vitality, you know, really build in this game. Like you will sacrifice so much just to put on vitality. So it's good bonus if you can get more vitality on the spear. That way you don't have to, you can get that extra bonus damage if it's already there. So like I say, this spear is actually more powerful than dual wield right now. So a lot of people are using spear because it's actually really fun, you know. I'm not gonna lie, because when the first time I started using spear, I'm like, I don't know if this weapon can be good though. Like it's just weird. But once you get used to it, dang, the spear it destroys pretty much anything easily. Like I say, spear is second to none to dual wield besides Shine Circular. If you exclude Shine, this spear is actually more powerful than dual wield right now. So that's why you see a lot of times people will just use spear, and this really is the meta build. If you don't want to use dual wield, then spear is the next meta build, because like it gets the job done regardless who you're fighting or what you're fighting. That thing is too OP, especially the divine version. Even the non-divine version, the extreme version, it is really powerful. Like spear doesn't take long to get to 4/4. Spear doesn't take long to get the skill connect set up. You know, it's like what is it? Double helix and dimension. They go together so well. They're so fast. Like spear is a really fast weapon. The DPS is insane, and the speed is insane. So you have the speed and you have the DPS. That's just crazy. So this is the only weapon, not only weapon, the whip can actually do the same as similar, but it's actually a little bit less powerful than spear. But spear, that thing can actually one down kill all the divines, but it's really difficult to kill the divine beast. Like especially the tapir with the the spear. It took me weeks of trying, but yeah, this thing is actually powerful. So you can actually farm Forgotten King with the spear, or anything. Like I said, this is the go-to DPS. You know, if you want to maximize the damage and you don't want to use dual wield, this is the go-to. Like it gets the job done. So regardless, you know, what you choose, this is actually one of the meta as well. Spear, it's a meta. We'll get, you know, I'll be excited to see what else that they're gonna add in this game in the future, and you have to see if there is a spear that's actually better than this one. It probably will, since this thing is only a 4-star. Can only imagine what 5-star gears are like in the future. So like I said, you know, spear is really powerful in this game. It's actually second, like the strongest weapon, but excluding Shine Circular, right now spear is actually more powerful than dual wield in terms of DPS, in terms of speed. So yeah, there's not much to say about spear besides it's really powerful. And you know, if people that really want to find a weapon that's really good, there you go. Just try to get a spear and get used to it. You know, get the proficiency, get the sword star. I mean, the sword skill stars. You know, then you can really see why this thing is so much more powerful. Like, in fact, a lot of videos, I can pretty much do it with spear. Which I already did, but it's just so much fun. It's completely different than dual wield. It's more like it's not so much strict. This one you can just, you know, actually have fun. The moves are really, really good, and you know, etc. So, like I say, try it out if you haven't, or if you're looking for something that's as powerful and is easy to use. Spear is quite easy to use, to be honest. There's not many complicated skills. Most of them are pretty fast, and it's really easy to memorize. So, but the one thing is I do want to mention is that when you go for the Sword Skill Connect, because this thing's so fast, you really have to do it really fast too, because otherwise you'll lose that Sword Skill Connect, or you get stuck with the same. So that's another thing when it comes to, you know, Spear, because Spear is actually really fast, you know, especially when you have speed buff. When you don't have speed buff, you might not see that much differences, but when you have the speed buff, that's a whole nother level of the speed. So alright people, I hope you guys enjoy it. The Spear things to know. Next time come back, like I say, I don't know what I'm gonna which weapon I want to do, but yeah, I'll think about it. I actually like stay here for the intros or in the middle of the scene, because the music in this castle is so nice. Like, it's actually really good to change pace from Centauria. It's a little bit different. Let's just say get the scenery, get the background music a little bit different. So other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it for Spear. Hope you guys enjoy it. Until next time.